Good morning. How are you? Good. How are you online? Good, I hope? I'll check after my phone. We gather in this space, and we gather in spaces beyond this space. And to those who are joining us online, a reminder that I don't forget that you are there, though I can't always connect with you in terms of commenting as we gather and worship. Please know that we are very aware of your presence with us and appreciate your presence with us. And I do go back and look at the comments and the check-ins, either during worship or following worship. So a welcome to you and a welcome to all as we gather in this space. Our sanctuary seems a little bare this morning, doesn't it? All the signs and symbols of our Advent and Christmas season put away, packed away for another year. The wise ones have made their way home by another way, and we move into this season of those days after Epiphany, a season of Epiphany that leads us through the month of January into February towards the season of Lent. But it is in these days, in the darkness that often can be winter, that we seek to hold on to the light of Epiphany. And we seek to reflect and ponder what it means now that the Christmas season is over, now that things have been packed away. Now what? How do we embody that message of Advent and Christmas and Epiphany in our daily lives and in our faithful lives as the people of God? It's in this season that we hear the invitation of God in the person of Jesus to follow. And what does that mean for us to come and follow? And so as we gather, it is those themes that will be woven through our worship this morning and in our worship in the weeks to come. As we gather as community, as always, I draw your attention to the announcements that are in this morning's bulletin, announcements that are there around upcoming events. And this evening, one of our first upcoming events is a baby shower. Always good to gather to celebrate the awaiting of a new little one and a new Syrian Canadian as Rasha and Mohammed of the family await the arrival of their baby boy. And so this evening at 7 p.m. in our church hall, women friends are invited to gather for a baby shower. And the information is there in the bulletin, and please know that all are welcome. Again, as you look through the bulletin, please take note around your Affirming Ministries working group and our Affirming Ministries table at the back of the sanctuary. And also, a number of times this week, people were talking about wanting to walk, a place where they could walk warmly and safely and with an ability to do that in a new year. And so I know there's a number of us who have used the church sanctuary and our hall as a place to walk and stroll. So that announcement's in the bulletin. If you're interested in doing that, be in touch with me around times and access to the building. Our church hall is used by a number of events, and you see that in our schedule, but there's a lot of other times when the sanctuary in the church hall is free. And so if you'd like to do that, please be in touch, and the information is there in your bulletin. And of course, as we gather in this place, ever aware of the needs of our wider world, the ongoing information around our connection to what's going on in the Middle East and the call of our church to pray, to donate, and to advocate. And that is there in your bulletin. Also, as you came into worship, you may have received this insert. If you didn't receive one as you came in, please, as you leave. This is regarding ongoing work of our wider United Church and how it relates to the work of our council. And from time to time in our church structure, as decisions are being made at a national level, there is the requirement to also consult with regional councils and with local faith communities. And this is such a time as our National Indigenous Organization looks at its structure and comes to the wider church for support as it seeks to move into a new structure. So I know there's a lot of information there. It's complex in terms of trying to explain it as succinctly as possible. But the main thing is that we are being asked as a community of faith, through our governing body, which is our council, to make a decision regarding what is called a remit. And so there's information there about the remit and about our upcoming council meeting and your participation in offering your views on that remit. So this insert will be in your bulletin for the next couple of Sundays. And again, if you need more information or have questions about it, please be in touch. But please take a moment to read that. As we gather in community, we certainly uphold those who are moving through times of sorrow and times of celebration. And I know that tomorrow our choir member Randy Gilby is celebrating a birthday. There was a birthday gathering for him this weekend. But I understand from the birds singing this morning as I walked my way to worship that someone this very moment, this very day, is having a birthday. Anyone willing to fess up? Anyone willing to fess? No one's having a birthday. That's not true. Jeannie McLean. Jeannie, are you turning red? Are you feeling the heat? Are you having a birthday today, Jeannie? Jeannie is having a birthday. Happy birthday, Jeannie. There are no secrets. As we gather this morning and over the next 2 Sundays, as I said, you'll notice moving and weaving through our worship a theme of call, of an invitation to live our faith, a theme of dreaming and visioning, of a looking back but a moving forwards, of endings and beginnings and greater things that are possible. It's an appropriate theme for a new year, and a new year on our calendars, be it the calendars we hang on our wall or our church calendars as we ponder work and ministry. What are the dreams we have? What are the greater things that we dream of individually, personally, and in community? What is possible for our work and ministry together? And so today we begin that dreaming and that theme of dreaming and visioning woven through our worship. I have a dream. 60 years later, those words still hold power and possibility. Tomorrow, as many of you are aware, is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And it's a day to remember and honor the legacy of a life of power and possibility and profound faithfulness. King's life was marked by a deep commitment to living out the gospel and God's call to justice and peace and love and liberation and transformation and the inclusion of all God's people. King wrote, "Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love." May our souls be generated by love. May our souls be nourished by love as we gather in this time of worship. Jesus not only said, "I am the light of the world," Jesus also said, You are the light of the world. We gather as a community to offer praise and prayer, to be challenged and disturbed and changed by this time. We gather to dedicate ourselves and our lives to the one who created us, the one who calls us, the one who sustains us, and the one who guides us in the way of love. We gather open to one another, open to all that is holy, open to this time and all that it may offer. Archbishop Desmond Tutu, someone I would name as a modern-day prophet in the biblical tradition, lived a life steeped in prayer. For Tutu, prayer was not an escape from his reality of sorrow, of suffering, of apartheid, but as Tutu would often say, that prayer was a way for him to move into that reality. Prayer not being something that he did, but prayer as a way of being. As his prophetic voice reminds us, prayer, our conversation with God, needs no set formulas or flowery phrases. It often needs no words at all. It often needs no words at all. So it is that one spiritual practice that we engage in that doesn't need words at all is the practice of a breath prayer, of simply pausing. And in our pausing, becoming attentive to our breathing, and in our breathing, our heartbeat. A breath prayer is a way to settle us into the moment, to be open to what we need in this moment and in our lives. A breath prayer is a way to pause and become ever aware of the presence of God, the presence of all that is holy deep within and all around. And so this morning, we pause. And we do it either with our breath, just simply to ourselves, or we add to our breath the prayer, breathing in and the breathing out. And on that breathing out, we pray, I am empty. And then on that breathing in, I am filled with all that is holy. The breathing out, I am empty. And the breathing in, I am filled with all that is holy. The breathing out, and the breathing in. The breathing out, the breathing in. I am empty. I am filled with all that is holy. I am empty. I am filled with all that is holy. God's goodness and love enfolding us around us. God's goodness and love within us. God's goodness and love at work through us. We have some friends who want to join me up front for a little while. Good morning. How are you? How's everyone this morning? Good? You're good? Everyone's good. Good morning. Guess where I went this week? Can you guess? To the library I went. Don't you love libraries? Aren't they a great place to go? You learn so much in libraries. Tomorrow is a day that is called Martin Luther King Jr. Day. You ever heard of Martin Luther King? You haven't? Well, that's why I went to the library, because I wanted to learn more about Martin Luther King. That's a picture, a painting, I guess, of Martin Luther King. Now, tomorrow would have been his birthday, and if Martin Luther was still alive, he would have been 95 tomorrow. But a number of years ago, Martin Luther died. And like many people who stand up for what is right and good, Martin Luther took the risk of standing up for what was right and what was good. Because, you see, in Martin Luther's day, if you had the color of skin that Martin Luther had, or if your skin was maybe even anything but white skin, people thought less of you. People would separate people who were African American from people who were white American. Does that sound right? That doesn't sound right. Imagine if you had dark skin, you would have to go to a school that was different from those with white skin. Or if you got on a bus, we couldn't sit like this. If I was Martin Luther and I got on a bus with you, I wasn't allowed to sit with you. I would have to go to a different part of the bus, or even on a whole different bus. Does that seem right? No, it wasn't right. Martin Luther's father was a minister. Martin Luther's grandfather was a minister. So Martin Luther spent a lot of his life going to church. And at church, he would hear the stories about God and God's love for everyone. And he'd hear the stories about Jesus. And he began to think, Jesus loved everyone. God loves everyone. So it should be that everyone should be treated equal. Everyone should be treated with respect. There should be no divisions. Does that make sense? Does that make sense that we shouldn't have divisions? That everyone should love one another and treat each other with respect? That seems like a very simple thing, isn't it? But in Martin Luther's day, it was very hard. And often, because he spoke out about God's love and how everyone needed to live in love, he faced a lot of hatred. And he was killed because of those beliefs. Killed because he was a person of love. And that's sad. Sad to think that people can be so fearful of love that they would lash out and hurt. So that's why tomorrow many people will stop to think about Martin Luther King and his message of love. And that's why we're doing that this morning. But Martin Luther also said that it didn't matter whether you were black or white, whether you're rich or poor, whether you went to school or you didn't go to school, whether you're young and old. Martin Luther King believed that we all had something to offer. We all had gifts to offer, no matter who we are, no matter what. And I think that's also a good message for us to remember, that we all have gifts and we all are important and we can all make a difference. No matter how young we are, no matter, look at those old folks out there. No matter how old we are, we all can make a difference. So for the next little while, we're going to sing a song that talks about how we all have a voice, how we all have a way to praise our God and to share God's love. And the words for those who have a bulletin are in the bulletin. And they're pretty simple. Can you hear? I'm going to share them with you. I've got a voice to sing out loud. Can we say those words? I've got a voice to sing out loud. I've got a voice to praise our God. I've got a voice to praise our God. I've got a voice to sing out loud. I've got a voice to sing out loud. I've got a voice for praising.
I've got a voice for praising.
And if you don't remember those words, you'll remember the next ones. And they go, la, 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 until Lloyd stops playing and we stop singing la. Okay? So Lloyd, maybe you'll play it through musically once and then we'll sing it through twice. But we're going to sing it for a number of weeks, so we'll get to learn it. I think I can guarantee that this week, somewhere this week, you'll begin to sing la, 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 la. Won't you? It's kind of like an earworm. And maybe when you sing that, you'll remember that we all have something to give, that we're all important, and each of us makes a difference, and we are all loved by God. And we'll see you after worship for those going down the chimney, the birthday girl. Today, as we're invited to dream, we're also invited to seek a deep wisdom that can inform our dreams. But as the biblical writers would ask, who among us is wise? What is wisdom? These are just a few of the questions that are explored in the Hebrew scriptures and what are referred to as the books of wisdom: Job, Ecclesiastes, the Psalms, Proverbs. This morning we turn to a number of selected verses from the book of Proverbs. If you've never opened the book of Proverbs, it's a very interesting biblical book, unlike many of the other biblical books, because truly it is a collection, various snippets. It's like an anthology of sayings and instructions and warnings. What does it mean to live in the way of God seems to be the ongoing question. And to understand that, we turn to the ways of wisdom. And for the scripture writers and the biblical understanding, wisdom is not simply a thing. Wisdom is also a being, a person. Sophia in the biblical tradition. God's partner in all of creation. And so it is that the book of wisdom opens with wisdom, Sophia, crying out in the streets, inviting people to listen and to hear. Sophia is the giver of life, as she proclaims, "Whoever finds me finds life." And so this morning I invite you to listen with your ears, your heart, your soul. I invite Beth to share with us some words of wisdom.
Good morning. These are the wise sayings of Solomon, David's son, Israel's king, written down so we'll know how to live well and right, to understand what life means and where it's going. A manual for living, for learning what's right and just and fair, to teach the inexperienced the ropes, and give our young people a grasp on reality, to help wise ones increase their learning, and to give greater guidance to discerning hearts. Start with God. The first step in learning is bowing down to God. Only fools thumb their noses at such wisdom and learning. Pay close attention, friend, to what your father tells you. Never forget what you learned at your mother's knee. Wear their counsel like a winning crown, like rings on your fingers. Good friend, take to heart what I'm telling you. Collect my counsels and guard them with your life. Tune your ears to the world of wisdom. Set your heart on a life of understanding. Good friend, don't forget all I've taught you. Take to heart my commands. They'll help you live a long life. A long life lived full and well. Don't lose your grip on love and loyalty. Tie them around your neck. Carve their initials on your heart. Earn a reputation for living well in God's eyes and in the eyes of the people. Trust God from the bottom of your heart. Don't try to figure out everything on your own. Listen for God's voice in everything you do and everywhere you go. God's the one who will keep you on track. Don't assume that you know it all. Run to God and run from evil. Your body will glow with health. Your very bones will vibrate with life. Honor God with everything you own. Give God the first and the best. Dear God, guard clear thinking and common sense with your life. Don't for a minute lose sight of them. They'll keep your soul alive and well. They'll keep you fit and attractive. You'll travel safely. You'll neither tire nor trip. You'll take afternoon naps without a worry. You'll enjoy a good night's sleep. No need to panic over alarms or surprises, or predictions that doomsday just around the corner, because God will be right there with you. God will keep you safe and sound. Never walk away from someone who deserves help. Your hand is God's hand for that person. Don't tell your neighbor, maybe some other time, or try me tomorrow, when the money's right there in your pocket. Don't figure ways of taking advantage of your neighbor when he's sitting there trusting and unsuspecting. Don't walk around with a chip on your shoulder. always spoiling for a fight. Don't try to be like those who shoulder their way through life. Why be a bully? Why not, you say? Because God can't stand twisted souls. It's the straightforward who will get God's respect. The ways of right living people glow with light. The longer they live, the brighter they shine. But the road of wrongdoing gets darker and darker. Travelers can't see a thing. They fall flat on their faces. So, my dear friends, listen carefully. Those who embrace these, my ways, are most blessed. Mark a life of discipline and live wisely. Don't squander your precious life. Blessed the one who listens to me, awake and ready for me each morning, alert and responsive as I start my day's work. Where there is no vision, the people perish.
And so as we consider wisdom and dreams and new beginnings, we turn to John's Gospel and to a beginning. In fact, what is often referred to as the preamble to John's Gospel, as the writer looks back to another beginning. In the beginning. The writer of John draws our ears and our thoughts back to Genesis and to that beginning. There's certainly parallels between John's Gospel and the words of first Genesis. The writer's way of reminding us that the same God who birthed life and breath and spirit into creation, birthed life and breath and spirit into Jesus. For the Gospel writer of John, there is no Christmas story per se. But for John, the Christmas story is a creation story, a story of God with us. And indeed, it is very good. Invite Beth again to share our reading from the Gospel of John.
In the beginning was the one who is called the Word. The Word was with God and was truly God. From the very beginning, the Word was with God. And with this Word, God created all things. Nothing was made without the Word. Everything that was created received its life from him, and his life gave light to everyone. The light keeps shining in the dark, and the darkness has never put it out. God sent a man named John who came to tell about the light and to lead all people to have faith. John wasn't this light. He came only to tell about the light. The true light shines on everyone, was coming into the world. The Word was in the world, but no one knew him, though God had made the world without his Word. He came into his own world, but his own nation did not welcome him. Yet some people accepted him and put their faith in him, so he gave them the right to be the children of God. They were not God's children by nature or because of any human desires. God himself was the one who made them his children. The Word became a human being and lived here with us.
Though we're almost midway through the month, January seems to be that time of the year where even through that month we continue to feel that we're standing at a new beginning point in a new year. A point of new beginnings and yet a point of endings. A point of re-beginning and reimagining and revisioning, a point of dreaming. And so it is for these next couple of weeks, I'm inviting us to take a pause as we ponder where we individually and in community consider where we are and where we might be going. For if the season of Advent is about preparing and creating a home for God, and the season of Christmas is about rejoicing of God amongst us, then this season of Epiphany, this time after Epiphany, is about pondering now what? Now what? How are we going to continue to embody that living, loving, justice-seeking, truth-making, all-embracing, transforming life of Jesus through our lives? The Word becomes flesh, as John's Gospel puts it. Wisdom becoming flesh. God's wisdom becoming human, living here amongst us. Now what? So what? What difference does it all make? And so in these weeks of pausing, I'm inviting us to consider the now what, to consider what lies ahead of us, and also in that what is lying deep within us. To consider the greater things that God in Jesus invites us to ponder and to embrace and to live out in our time and in our place. I have a dream. I have a dream. Do you? Do we? Do we have a dream about that now what, or that so what? Do we have a dream for ourselves and our way of being together as God's people? As we'll sing in part later in worship, or perhaps as you might have read it in my Friday's email, drawing on the words of pastor and poet and civil rights leader Howard Thurman. When the songs of the angels are stilled, when the star in the sky is gone, when the kings and the princes are home, when the shepherds are back with their flocks, the work of Christmas begins. To find the lost, to heal the broken, to feed the hungry, to release the prisoner, to rebuild the nations, to bring peace among the people, to make music in the heart. For Thurman, that is the work of Christmas. Note for a moment as Thurman uplifts what he considers to be the work of Christmas. Thurman says nothing about balanced budgets or full churches. The work of Christmas is about something more. The work of Christmas is the work of God. It's the ministry of Jesus. It's the work of the kingdom. Perhaps the work of Christmas is in fact the dream of God, the Word, the wisdom of God becoming flesh. Look at the art image that graces your bulletin cover. The dreams that are uplifted there. Notice some of the dreams that you see offered there. And then move inwards. What are the dreams that you sense deep within your very being? As you look around this place and look at the faces of those who join you in work and ministry, what are the dreams that you believe we might call to enter into? Our dreams. The now what? Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream. Indeed, he had many, many dreams. And he lived grounded in those dreams. And in those dreams, in that word becoming flesh. The word, the wisdom of God in him and through him. The word, the wisdom that imagined him, who moved him to imagine a better day, a better world, a better people, a better church. What good is a desegregated lunch counter when you can't afford the meal? What do federal regulations desegregating housing mean when you can't afford a house? What does the right to work with people of all races mean when you can't find a job? Martin Luther had a dream. We often associate King's I Have a Dream proclamation with the address that he gave at the March on Washington in August of 1963. But his dreaming began long before that day. Luther was steeped in the dreams and the visions of the prophets. The son of a preacher, the grandson of a preacher, King was steeped in faith, steeped in the dreams of the prophets like Amos and Isaiah. Justice will roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. Every valley shall be exalted and every hill and mountain shall be made low. Throughout his life, King formed and reformed again his dreams. Struggle after struggle, obstacle after obstacle, death threat after death threat. King prayed and preached and lived his dream for all God's children. All God's children. And with this faith, I will go out and carve a tunnel of hope through the mountain of despair. With this faith, I will go out with you and transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. With this faith, we will be able to achieve this new day when all God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing with the Negroes and the spirituals of old. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we're free at last. King had a dream. He had a dream for a country where the American dream was beyond their grasp. A dream for a people where racism and despair and poverty and hatred made the very act of dreaming also impossible. King had a dream for his children, and his children's children, and his children's children's children. He had a dream for all God's children. For me, for you, for all of us together, for our world. A dream that was rooted, a dream that was grounded in his God, and in that unfolding promise of the kingdom, the way of God made flesh made real this day, this moment, in this time and place. King had a dream that was given life and breath and legs and heart in what he often called dangerous unselfishness. Dangerous unselfishness. That was embodied for King in the parable of the Good Samaritan. King would often center his dreams in the biblical text and in that parable of the Good Samaritan. His words, his dreams, inviting people in to dream with him. And so it was in his last speech on the evening of April 3rd, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee, on the night before he died. King referred once again to that parable of the Good Samaritan and his dream for all God's people. So let us rise up tonight with a greater readiness. Let us stand with a greater determination. I have been to the mountaintop. I have seen the promised land. King invited a people, a nation, a world to share in his dream, to share in God's dream, and then to risk body, soul, and life and livelihood to enact that dream. To dream is faithful work. To dream about the unfolding of God's kingdom amongst us. To dream of what now? To dream for ourselves, for our ministry, for our life together, to dream for our community and our world. For dreams inspire. King knew that deeply. Dreams hold out possibility. Dreams move us forward. Dreams are that living out of our understanding of who we are and who our God calls us to be. And so today, tomorrow, in the weeks to come, I am inviting you to dream. And in that, to share those dreams. To share those dreams for yourself, and to share those dreams for our church, to share those dreams for our ministry, to share those dreams as we join together in that faithful living out of the unfolding of God's kingdom. I have a dream. We have a dream. Do we? Do we? So what? Now what? As is our tradition, we pause and worship and we give thanks for the ways that we do live out our faith. Prayerfully, we give thanks for the ways that we offer our gifts of time and treasure, our financial gifts, our gifts of presence, our gifts of service, our gifts that connect us to one another and to our community and to the world in which we live. All that we are is a gift of God, and all that we offer is our gift to God. And I give thanks.
Gifts of the Spirit and gifts of the heart,
Pastor and poet Roddy Hamilton writes these words in part. Traveling with God is never dull, but always filled with surprises. So we mourn not the past, nor dread the future, but open ourselves to the possibilities of compassion, of kindness, of humility, of gentleness, of patience, opening ourselves to the possibility of God bringing life in all its fullness. So it is, hand in hand with God. We travel with God, and we step into a brave new future. May it be so. And again, turning to the wisdom of Dr. King. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't sit, then stand. No. So I'll begin again. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. We are blessed. And we are called to be a blessing. May it